Awesome. Well, I think it says we are streaming, so I'm going
Yeah.
to bring it up on the phone and bring it up on here and give people a minute. I never know with these things. It's always a good delay
I get that
between.
button that says, got it? Have you got it? Yes,
Yeah,
yes, got it. Yeah.
definitely got it.
Nice.
Looks like we're in, and it says our captions are auto generated. So yeah, we're all good. Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Sorry for being late. I'm always late for these things, and it is my fault again. I was too busy chatting about Ninja blenders and Jack doing lives into wrong groups and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my fault, completely my fault. So we will get pretty much straight into this. I'll not wait too long for people to turn up, but if you are here, make sure you do say hello into the comments, say hi, give us a little wave. We are here with a special guest this week as well. We have a really cool training. Jack was actually on here 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
4 weeks ago, I reckon. Yeah.
Not like it was, about a month ago, with a different training. And you guys really liked it so much, and there's loads of free workshops. And these trainings, I like them because they're more like a workshop than an actual just here's me chatting or here's someone chatting for ages. So if you are watching this, Chris is saying hi. Hey mate, how you doing?
Hey, Chris.
Adam's here, Cannon's here, Jed's here, and another Chris is here. Two Chris's. How good's that? So if you are watching this, there is a workbook that goes with it. You could have got it in the email that's gone through already. If you haven't seen that, then just above this video, there is a link for you to click. It takes you straight to Dropbox. There's no emails or anything to put in. Just click on that and it will open it up, and it's a downloadable PDF you can use that will help you along with this particular workshop. We've got a few more people on. Yvonne's watching, and Tim Drummond. He might have for a while. Tim Drummond. Hey. So yeah, a few people watching. I'll jump straight into it then, and I'll let Jack here reintroduce himself very quickly because I know many of you guys have met him before. But if anyone new, who are you, Jack, and why are you here today?
Yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, 4 weeks ago, I come in here and did the recommitment method, which was awesome. So hopefully you guys have got some clients to recommit, which would be cool at the end of your programs. Today I'm going to do client journey blueprint. So this is more focused on client experience, kind of what happens within the journey of a client, say they're at day 1 to day 60 or day 90, depending on how long your program is. Most of our guys will kind of be around the 3-4 month mark with continuance. So I'm going to go through that today. As to who I am, I'm Jack from Media Bros. We've been in this game. Well, I've been a personal trainer myself for like 14 years. I now own a gym and have a great team run that gym. And I spend my 9 to 3 before I have to pick my daughter up every day doing this with my business partner and brother, Jacob. So we help PTs grow online. That's our whole gig, and enjoy doing it every single day. So hopefully you get some value from this. I'm going to share my screen here, Ash, if that's cool.
Yeah, so good.
And run through the workbook. So you guys have the workbook on a Dropbox link, which is awesome. The best way to do these, like to go through these workbooks, I like to like ton of implementation in this. So not just give you education, but like you actually do some stuff whilst we're on these calls as well. So if you like USB to iPad or tablet or Android, whatever you have, straight into your laptop, you'll be able to get this in front of you. And I just use Apple Pen to draw over the top through an app called Notability. There you go. Ash does the same thing. A lot of our guys have this in front of them. They'll just make separate notes, which is another way to do it, of course, if you haven't got the iPad or whatever you need. And some of our guys actually print these out, which is wild.
Wow.
I mean, I wouldn't suggest, I wouldn't suggest doing that. A lot of our clients print these out and have them, it's like 30 pages of ink. I wouldn't suggest doing that, but that's an option as well. Okay, so I'm going to get on with this. 30 minutes. I'll try and keep it to. I'll try and be as efficient as I can. And any questions, obviously Ash will man the chat there. So any questions you have, they can be thrown to me from Ash. Let's rock and roll. So client journey blueprint. Let's talk about the blocks in the road first, and a lot of things that I see, especially with clients and prospects that I speak to. Okay, so number one is it's too confusing. So what it can't be is too confusing to you as the coach, and it can't be too confusing to your clients as well. They need to know what the next step is. An amazing coach who mentored us once told us, look, clients leave when they run out of future. I've said that before to people on here. It's one of my favorite ever quote. And that's so true. So their next action in your program, what they should be doing next, their next call, it all should be very clear. Okay, almost productized. I love those kind of services. So try and make it as productized as you can. It's exhausting keeping up with everyone. So if you're to the point, like we've got some guys that have 50, 70, 80 clients, you're getting to that point where you have so many clients, which is great, congrats. But if you're at that point, like it can be really difficult to keep track of people. Ash, I'm sure you've experienced this. Like, so you have to set in internal systems to make sure that you can keep track of everyone and where they are, right? And that can be exhausting. And what you don't want to do is clients to feel overwhelmed or underwhelmed. They need to feel just right. So giving too much too quickly is a brilliant way to get clients to feel super overwhelmed and not engage in a program. So making sure we give them what they need, but not too much is really important. And I'm going to go into a bit of that on this session. 4 key points, just to throw at you here. We want our clients to play and stay, right? That's the goal. We want them to enjoy their time and we want them to stay for a long time, right? Whenever, so we have a 12-month program because we like to really like jump into the trenches with clients. We always want them to stay for another 12 months after the 12 months. We've got clients that are entering their third, kind of halfway through their 3rd years now, which is awesome, right? So we want them to have a good time and stay. We want to install key behaviors. WhatsApping your clients 8 p.m. at night is not cool. Being at a family gathering and being on the phone to one of your clients is not cool. We want to try and install key behaviors which are going to fit into your life and their lives, right? Really, really key. And by the way, jumping onto one-to-one calls every single week with your clients is not cool either, right? And a big no-go. It's definitely for 99% of coaches. Go your own way. So I think it's really important to be able to guide clients through a process. And that's why it's so important, in my opinion, and Ash, hopefully you agree with this, that it is as productized as possible. You have one production line for a program. That doesn't mean everyone does the same program, guys, right? But it means you have one production line as the coach. If a car manufacturer, let's say Ford, had a separate production line for a single model, that would cost an awful lot of money. So they want cars to go through the same production line and it needs to be sequential. And weekly touch points. I always say to our clients, I need to hear or see you at least once a week. And that's the goal. It's really important to have weekly touch points with clients. And that is so easily done online with software and automation. So make sure that we have touch points in place. I don't want to, like, if I go 2 or 3 weeks without seeing a client unless they're away on holiday, that's a bit of a worry. So like we make sure that we track adherence as well, as you guys should be doing. Okay. And your journey, by the way, should promote touch points.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to talk about heart rate. So a heart rate of a client, I think it's really important to know that a client's time with you in terms of their happiness and how they feel isn't like that, right? It's definitely not linear. Your clients are going to go through different stages of their business. I would say, much like my wife absolutely loves Grey's Anatomy. She loves it, right? This program about like hospitals and basically anything about hospitals she watches. Weird. A client's heart rate, a client's emotion, a client's feeling is going to be more like that. Imagine that's level, not more to the downside. So you managing that feeling in your program is going to be really important. Okay, and I'm going to show you kind of how to do that and how we do that within our business as we go through this. Okay, so that's just one really important point. Now, you're going to have a list of things that you do to make sure that you can control the negative times a client's going through. So if I just go back to this, you are going to have times in your program where clients are going to be right here, right? They're going to be fed up with themselves. They might be feeling demotivated. They might be feeling like they don't want to do this anymore. They might be feeling it's too hard, right? So you want to make sure that during these times, they have something to look forward to within your program, okay? They have something to get excited about. Now, a lot of these things normally end up being things like events. We'll roll through these here. Like events, client events are great. People love being in the trenches with someone trying to achieve the same thing. They love being in groups. So client events, we've got like workshops. Photo shoot days is a big one, especially if they've achieved a transformation or their weight loss goal. Like these things can be amazing for people. Parties, gatherings. So all of these things, meetups. We do like 2-day events 3 times a year, for example. Like all of these things should fit into your annual timeline, right? This is going to promote adherence. This is going to increase lifetime value. This is going to make your churn better. All of these things put into your year, right? So you can obviously take some of these and make your own list here. Hopefully you're jotting down a lot of what I'm putting down here on your workbooks. But you might already have some of these. Like, you guys are amazing coaches. You might already have photo shoot days where you hire a photographer for like 4 hours and you invite 10 clients down who have achieved some really amazing goals, some weight loss transformations, or some they build muscle. You might get them down for a photo shoot day, which is like epic and so cool to promote. There's a trainer in the UK, I forget his name, but he gets everyone there in his merch, does a great job to these Photoshop days, and then gets a videographer to film everything going on. Amazing content, right?
One of our clients, he does that. He all online programs, but literally brings them down, have loads of merch, even socks. I mean, who has socks? Even has socks, and brings them all down, all this merch, big photo shoot, big event. They all get together after, have like a meal and stuff, and just films the whole thing. Basically, creates some loads of like social proof for the rest of the year on that one event.
Yeah, so cool. Like the short form stuff you can create off that is just epic as well. So yeah, absolutely right. So we're going to look like at an annual timeline. For example, like this is, say, Jan, and we've got December up here. Like for us, we work in 8-week cycles with our clients. So internally, in terms of setting goals and like looking back, reflecting. So like if we were to have like 8-week cycles, we'd go like Jan, these won't be exact, guys. Okay, I'm just going to map this across. So that's like every 8 weeks for the year. And then what we'd have is like important meetups, right? So we might have a meetup in March, we've got a face-to-face in July, and then a November meetup as well, right? So all of these things to look forward to. And then obviously, if we go back and we zone in from a weekly standpoint, we've got weekly training and everything that goes on. So if you draw in the monitor here, right, there is something for clients to look forward to. There's something for them to reflect. There's something for them to get in a group with other people. Therefore, it gives them future the more they go through the process, right? Whereas if I was to take all of those cool things out, which I do, if I was to take all of these out, this list, okay, out of our annual timeline, there wouldn't be any incentive for someone to stay bar what they get with you one-to-one, which can be pretty lonely or in group setting, depends on how you do it, right? So it's really important that you build this stuff into the client journey, even if it's like minimal viable. So it doesn't have to be like you going to a nice hotel in London and then getting everyone over and it costing you $6,000. That it doesn't have to be like that. It can be really, really simple. Like one of our clients does a meet up with like 10 of his clients at a restaurant, right? It can be you going to a Frankie and Benny's. Don't even have to fit the bill. You can just invite them there because that's really cool, right? So like, don't always think up here because that's what you see online. Like all of those people started down here and started minimal viable as well, and just build it up as the years go by. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If we've got any questions, guys, just pop them below.
Yeah, just spam away. We're all good at the moment, I think. But yeah, it makes perfect sense. I think like any part of your business, very easy to see people doing all these amazing things like at the top end all the time. But everyone starts with that minimum viable dose of stuff, like the minimum you can get away with. Just do that, and then keep building upon that over time.
Yeah, like one of our clients, I won't name him, but he's an amazing coach, and he wanted his first event last year. And he booked out, that he didn't tell us he was doing this, so we only found out after the fact. But he booked out a huge,
you didn't get an invite.
Yeah, a huge venue in London, St. Paul's. So you can imagine what that was like. And got there and was like sold all the options and like picked the option with like brunch, lunch for everyone, like insane. And then like it got like a third of spots filled. So because it was first ever event, right? Really difficult. Yeah. And it was like a 17 grand bill for the day. And like he's learned so much from that. His next event was like a 20-person more like intimate event, which was like ran incredibly well. So like keep on iterating and making these things better. But yeah, easy to fall into these traps. But having this stuff in is only going to make you a better coach and give you a better service. Okay, so always think about how you can make it viable for you. I learned, I'm going to show you a framework here to talk about like your program length. I learned this from the amazing Taki Moore, coach in Australia, incredible coach. He taught me this framework. I watched this framework on one of his trainings and I was blown away. And it really puts it over in a really simple to understand way. So I'm going to try and not butcher it and show you guys here. So if that's day one, and let's say your program's day 90, right? 3-month program, just to use an example. There are some really important phases of this. So like a client here, they've come in, they've signed an agreement, whatever, right? Your day one is right here. Now, the first phase I'm going to say is this phase, this like onboarding phase. You can refer to that as the first 7 days. You can refer to that as the first 30 days. Now, what's really important in the onboarding phase is that a client is A, not overwhelmed, but B, gets everything they need at that point, right? And that is always more support because they're coming, this is the brand new thing. It's where buyer's remorse happens the most. It's where you guys would have got messages 4 days in and say, hey, I'm actually not sure, I think I've got to go, right? So it's really important you kick off the relationship in a really positive manner. Now, we tell our guys, this is where you'll do the most one-to-one work, right? So this is, if I'm just going to give you a simple like onboarding formula for this piece, like we talk about kickstart calls, game plan calls, and progress calls. So like 3 calls, they can be dealing one-to-one or group. It'll be easier for you guys to do them one-to-one right now, to be honest. But like kickstart call, and then let's say day 4 game plan call, and then day 10 progress call, right? So you see how it's productized. Like on the kickstart call, we'll book this. On the game plan call, we'll book this to make sure that we're not losing them off the timeline. Okay, so we can track our clients the whole way through. And then most of you guys, most of our guys, tend to block and coach in phases, right, or in blocks. So for you, it might be first block here. Use a different color. Second block here, blue lines, and then like third block here, right? But a lot of the actual fulfillment, a lot of the work, a lot of the programming, you can do on the game plan call, right? Because you can get all of the information you need on the Kickstart call, and I'll go through the type of thing that we're looking for in a minute. And then you can do a lot of the programming using PTD on the game plan call, right? Super simple. So then you can talk them through what they need to do. You can send them off with their homework. And then a week later, you can just jump on a progress call with them just to make sure they're on the right path. What exercise are you struggling with? What days are you struggling with? Do we need to amend the program? Do we need to amend those refinements? Do we need to regress anything, right? And that can happen on that progress call. So if you have that really solid onboarding, and by the end of the progress call, are like super happy, these changes have been made. Yeah, I'm firing up, like they're in their first 7 days. So that's where they're in the most, like, I'm feeling great about this honeymoon phase. Then there is no need for like these one-to-one calls, right? As we go through the different weeks, because they've been onboarded in a really efficient manner. You might not want to automate that all right now. You might want to bring that in later. You might want to do it manually so you understand the process. And then you can launch into phase 1, right? So I call it business as usual, which can be like your group calls. We have, for example, 3 group calls a week. We do with our guys. You might have one-to-one calls at certain times. There might be like progress reports. Good spelling, Jack. Loom vids, comms somewhere, right? All of this stuff is the business as usual. And I can kind of give you an idea of cadence in a different training if you want. But the key thing is phase 2 starts here, phase 3 starts here. So you're reprogramming and advancing things as you go. That might change. For example, if you've got like a 4-month program, you might want to do 4 times 4-week phases. If you've got a 3-week, a 90-day 3-month program, you might want to change up the phases. So it depends on how you guys block. You'll all do it in a different way, depending on your avatar, probably mainly. And then right at the end here, I obviously taught the recommitment method to you guys 4 weeks ago. And at around day 70 is when we'd have the recommitment call, right? So we are ensuring that they're going to stay with us past the 90 days and recommit to the program. Okay. And that is where you show them future. Okay. And I'll go through that. Obviously, you can go back 4 weeks to watch recommitment training.
I'll link that training into the comments as well so people can watch it. So I think it's a really important training to understand why that's put there and the importance of it and what the importance of all this, like this front end offer, so to speak, how important that actually is. Yeah, that framework was really powerful to me when I was taught it. So hopefully that gives you a really nice visual of what that can look like. But like the business as usual, like this is all obviously business as usual. This is as usual through this piece. And here at the phases, when you're about to make the changes, that's when you can use the one-to-one calls if you need to. So they've gone monthly with these one-to-one calls. A lot of our guys are monthly, some are bi-weekly, but majority are monthly, and making sure they can fulfill clients in a way using all of this stuff here. Okay. I think you could definitely put things in place to help with this as well, like especially with what we can do within PTD. Like there's a lot of automations in this you can do to help out with that kind of thing, to block the phases off, and especially in that onboarding phase where you mentioned having the kickstart and the kind of the goal planning and stuff from there, and the progress check-ins. Like that onboarding phase, one of the things we always talk about in here is having like an onboarding week. And I know like some question stuff will always come about, well, how do I get all that information to them? Like they want to get started straight away. Well, you can have this onboarding phase anyway, like, and actually work on that and build it on and then kind of build up from there. And I think it's such an important thing. I think if you get onboarding right, you set yourself up pretty well for that client and for that client staying with you. If you get onboarding wrong, I think it can become a bit of a nightmare. That's what I've always found anyway.
It's like first impressions, right? You turn up to a corporate job interview in shorts and flip-flops, you're probably not going to get the job. Yeah. And it's the same kind of thing. The onboarding week's perfect. Like, and you can like gate certain things from them. So to give you an example of this, and I go through this in the next slide, kind of, but like Kickstart, you might not want to give them access to your community yet. You might not want to give them access to your education portal or all of that content, because it just might be too much at that point. So for us, like during the game plan, that's when we give them access to our mission control, which is like all of our education piece. And then after Kickstart, we'd give them access to the community, right? Because what we don't want to do is before the Kickstart, if we sign a client and we've got the Kickstart booked in like 4 days, we don't want them going to the community as a mission control, like going off on a tangent and going, oh my God, this is so much info, right? and oh, this person's doing £10,000 a month and that's where I want to get to. What's she doing? And then trying to copy, and it's just not going to be, it's going to be counterproductive for everyone. So you might want to like give them certain things at different points, but just understanding where and when is going to be important for you. Okay. Okay, cool. So I just want to go through Call Diary, kind of what happens. So like in our world, Kickstart is like an initiation. Always make a few jokes about like rugby teams standing on tables and stuff. That's not what happens. Expectations, layering down expectations. Do you remember I said earlier about not being on WhatsApp at 8 p.m? Like all of that stuff is baked into expectations there and then on Kickstart. And then we go through current state, where they are, challenges, opportunities, all that kind of good stuff. And then talk about goals, short-term and long-term, right? So that's kind of what we'd be doing on Kickstart. That will give us all the information that we need. Yours might be very, very similar to that for Kickstart, which will be cool. Now, game plan is slightly different. So that's obviously, 4 days later in this onboarding phase. Game plan is more about the doing, right? So it's more about the programming. It's about like getting them integrated into tech, for example. That might happen there, right? Might be getting them on the app. It might be talking about how goals relate to the program and why it's all relevant, okay? Making sure they're happy with it, making sure they know where to find it, making sure they understand what's going to be their cadence. How many times are they working out weekly? Are there any non-negotiables? Are there any non-negotiables you're bringing into their day-to-day? Okay, all of this stuff is relevant. That might be your game plan. Cool. And then progress call is literally at that point, it's about key questions. Are they still on path? Like, how's the program going? right? Are there any challenges right now? What exercise are you finding easy? What are you finding hard? Are you finding the deadlift technique tough? Cool, how can I help with that piece? Okay, so this is just about making sure that after a week of doing the program, they know exactly where they are, and they're going well with it. Okay, and then future, which is like the recommit call. I don't know why I don't call it that. That is more about next steps.
Future sounds better.
Yeah,
easy to remember.
that's more about next steps, right? What haven't they achieved yet that you wanted to achieve? What have they achieved over the last 70 days with you, which has been absolutely epic? Okay, why they're not finished? How ending one goal creates another goal, right? That's about next steps and understanding that there's future to health and fitness. It isn't just a 90-day thing. Okay, and again, go back 4 weeks and check out that training. So that's kind of what we'd expect. Just little thing here called the Magic Coach. In that first 7 to 10 days, there are certain things that you can do to like get the relationship off to a flyer, right? Because what people want is like ridiculously quick wins, sometimes just too fast and completely unrealistic. And that's like completely normal because people want stuff yesterday. It's just the way it is. So like you're looking for like instant results, things that they can hang on to and go, oh, this is amazing. I love Ash. He started so well with me. Then they're going to go tell their friends, right? In that first like honeymoon period. So like you want instant results for whatever their goal is. So whether it's weight loss, whether they're trying to hit a bench press PB or get stronger or build muscle, like we are looking, whether it's a feeling or emotion, that's a big one, right? You might have that. We want these instant results to happen as quickly as possible. And then I always get like trainers say to me a lot, oh yeah, but that's not the case of weight loss. It needs to be sustainable. Completely get it. And I completely agree. But the thing is, like, you've got to understand, they want to be shown like a different method or a different mechanism or something that they've never seen before to go, okay, I trust this person. Like his stuff works. Like an example of this, and you can agree with this or you don't have to agree with this. Not the way I'd ever coach or have ever coached. But Alex Hormozi, everyone will know that name by now, used to use a starvation guide in his first like 14 days with a client, right? So they used to jump on and he used to give them a starvation guide and they used to literally like eat like 500 calories, be miserable as hell for like 2 weeks, but lose loads of weight. And then he used to jump on with them at like day 14 and go, yeah, you're not going to do that anymore. That's not the way I coach. I just wanted to give you some quick wins to let you know that you can trust me. I know what I'm doing, right? But let's scrap all of that. And then he used to actually move on to how he's going to coach. So these are like things that like used to get a quick result. I'm not saying you're a starvation guide, by the way. That's just like quite a big example. But like one of our clients is a fasting expert, right? So he does like a 2-day fast, I think it was, or a 1-day fast in that first 14 days to get clients feeling insane, like to get them using his mechanism. You could do a cleanse.
Yeah, a carb one was popular, wasn't it? At one point, people used to like cut carbs out for the first week or 2 weeks just to drop that water retention. Yeah, it's simple to do ish, and then quick results. Right now, we're going to flip back to what we should be doing. Yeah, it's a big thing. I was got told once by a coach who said you've got two. When it comes to doing this kind of thing, you need to choose whether you want to be right or whether you want to be effective, and the two very different things. And I think when you're doing this kind of thing, like you can say yes, that's not right. It should be sustainable, and it should be. But if you can't get that client to continually doing the things they need to do for the long term, it's not sustainable for them. So sometimes by doing these little instant result things up front, yeah, they might not be perfect. They might not be exactly right. Gives them that instant win. But that in the long term, it's going to be more effective for them because it's going to help them lead them on to the actual things they need to be doing. And they're more likely to commit to doing those things in the future. That's what I was always told anyway by an old coach of mine.
I think that's so true because like the right or effective is really, really, that's an awesome way of putting it. The effective can come later. Like,
can come later.
Yeah. Like that can come later. Like, you know, like right at this honeymoon period needs to be really effective. So using like magic tricks like this can really work. And obviously the goal is to get them super quick results in that first 14 days in that onboarding phase, right? So yeah, like you guys will know what you can use. You might already have like magic tricks in your program that fit perfectly for this, that you might use later on. Like in our world, the game plan call, this one right here, day 4, we like always the biggest thing is leads, right? Leads. So we'll just do like 3 things to like the biggest audience that they have, no matter how big that is. And we'll try and drive leads with our fingers and thumbs like there and then, right? To show that implementation is key. This is what we need to do, right? So just some ideas there for you guys, but super important in the first 7-10 days. That's it. I'm done.
I love it.
Ash, there you go. I said 30 minutes.
I'm impressed.
But like just some homework for you guys. This framework was powerful to me when I was taught it. So I would say like draw this out, have it mapped out on your wall, nice and big in this similar framework.
Take a screenshot, take a photo now.
Yeah, pinpoint where you guys are showing this stuff, right? Pinpoint like where they're going to have calls, what the business as usual stuff is done, like where it all fits in. Okay, that's the biggest action I'd say for everyone here. But yeah, dude, that's everything.
I love it. I've got some like questions and stuff. If I can fire it your way a little bit around this. Some that I'll pull up as I go through that I think people might ask it also to come in. So like one thing you're talking about the event stuff earlier on your list, like one of the earlier slides, I think it was. What about online events? If you struggle to do, you talk about doing like the kind of minimum viable element of this. What about doing like Zoom events, online events, group events, stuff like that? Was it better to do in-person stuff, meetups and things for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so when I go back to these events in red that we do, this one's online and this one's online. There's only one that's face-to-face. So like, yeah, these are 2-day events. So absolutely no reason with the tech that we have in life right now that these can't be online. So like the meetups, the parties, one of our guys hosts an end of month like booze up, basically, where everyone will jump onto Zoom, bring their favorite beverage, and have a good chinwag, right? It's like nothing coaching related. They might talk about journeys and their month so far, but nothing really strategy wise, tactics at all. Just having some fun. So like just bringing this stuff in is just so important to community. Like people stay for the community or for the results. And if you got one of those things, you'll keep them. If you got both, you'll keep them forever. But like if you're brand new or you're not seeing effectiveness in your results, like hone in on the community. Obviously results are important, guys, but hone in on the community because that's going to be super important to them. Cool.
I'll try to keep you too long, so now you got to go and pick your daughter from school.
Right?
We don't. Too long on it all.
You won't be standing there on the playground. So.
Oh, just run around there for a few hours. The other question was around that first kind of onboarding phase where you have those 3 touch points, if you like, those 3 calls. How long will those calls be? And I think the reason around that would be, one, you've got to commit to those 3 calls over a 10-day period, but also your client has to commit to those 3 calls over a 10-day period. So what are these half-an-hour calls, the hour calls, the 10-minute calls? Like, what's the average? What would you expect?
Yeah, so that's so true. The busiest you'll be in a one-to-one environment is through onboarding. Like that is just the way it is. Like we'll onboard 5 clients in 1 week, and then like I won't have much space in my diary at all for like 10 days, 2 weeks, and that's fine. But like Kickstart, you're looking at like 30-40 minutes. Game plan's always the longest because it's more there's more to consume. Like Kickstart is about kind of setting them up almost. And then progress call is again fairly short. So I'd say game plan 1 hour, Kickstart 30 minutes, and then progress 30 minutes. It's perfect. So like 2 hours of coaching time in that first 10 days is going to be about right.
And I think if anyone's thinking, well, that's a lot, that period of time, but if you actually think what that's saving you long term by doing that there, what's being saved in this, the business as usual side of thing is huge. I know we haven't talked about it on this, but I haven't seen the training back and guess how that cadence is going to be, just from what I've seen before in the past. So like what you're saving by doing that 2 hours of work there is massive. And
not only that, but like you're increasing LTV by doing this. Like if you've got a program which is £200 per month, for example, like, and a client decides to recommit because of how good their journey's been, like it's 1.2k in the bag. Let's say you got on them on a 6-month recommit, and that a lot of that wouldn't happen because of how you set the tone at the start. So like front end work matters. And the process they go through in that first 10 days to 2 weeks to set the tone is so important.
Nice. I think that was all of them. I'm just checking to see if I had any other ones down here, or if I've missed any anywhere. I don't think I have. Right on, there is one more that just came in that I didn't write down. So this is from Chris. Said, appreciate this. Thanks. The quick result thing to build trust is what I need to implement. Everyone wants results ASAP and are hesitant to commit to my 4-month program. A quick win in the first 7 days that I can promise will help big time. So not really a question, more of a statement, just saying thank you very much, I guess.
That's great.
Some good ideas.
Yeah, man, pleasure. Like if you feel that that's the case, like having and you have the magic tricks in place, this kind of stuff that you have so much confidence in. If people are not wanting to commit to 4 months, like on a sales call, for example, like give a 1-month guarantee. Like if they're not absolutely loving it after 1 month, they can leave. Because that can work really well, especially you have these magic tricks in place that you know are going to work, and you have evidence of. So always a good idea if you want commitment for that 4 months.
Nice. I'll tell you what, Chris, as well, if you fancy, you can share whatever you come up with for your first 7 days. Might be an idea to see what you're up to.
Love to see it.
Always love to see that kind of thing. See what people are doing here. Awesome. Well, I tried to keep it too long on this one, and thanks for keeping that nice and short, which is always like, 'cause I always go on forever on these things. So honestly, mate, I really do appreciate you coming on. I'm sure it wouldn't take much to try and twist you on to come on again, do some other training, which is always a bonus. I always see it. If anyone wants to reach out, get in touch with you, find out, obviously I'll put the LinkedIn newsletter so you can talk a little bit about that as well. But yeah, how do people get in touch? Yeah,
guys, like obviously you can reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. I'm here to help you and answer any questions you have. We do a free newsletter every single Sunday, 8:30 a.m. to your inbox, called the Fitness Entrepreneur. So you can grab that newsletter. We've got like 3.5 thousand PTs who get that to their inbox at the moment, which is amazing. And we just give away free stuff. There's no call to actions in that newsletter. There's no opt-ins. All you have to do is opt into the newsletter, and you can just get resources, training every single week to your inbox on a Sunday at 8:30 a.m. So we'll chuck the link in below this so you can grab it if you want to. Awesome, cool. I'll put it in the comment in the thing above. I will drop all this into the comments and link back to the old training from a few months ago for anyone that's interested to on this. That relates quite right to this. Yeah, perfect. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us here today, mate. I really do appreciate it. And thanks to everyone else that's been watching. If you are watching on the replay, again, thank you for that. I'm sure if you've got any questions, you can still drop them in the comments, and either I'll try and answer them if I can pick them up. But Jack's in the group anyway, so I'm sure he won't mind answering questions if you've got any as you go through. And yeah, I've no doubt you'll be seeing Jack again the next few weeks, month, maybe something like that, with some more training. Awesome, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. And see you soon. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.